sorry to have to ask you this, woman of influence. This is a message for every third sector and public sector leader around the globe. My name is Dion Johnson. I'm the founder of Woman Leader Global, a corporate events firm, particularly for women in senior leadership in the public sector and in the third sector. And my question today is, how come? How come, despite our brilliant, amazing accomplishments and our remarkable career achievements, how come things are still the way they are for so many people, so many animals, so many lands and nations? How come in 2018, the rich are still getting richer and the poor poorer still? How come our pediatric mental health services are busting at the seams with children and young people from as young as primary school age? And how come there's so much war and fighting and infighting and outfighting and battles and wars all over the place in its many forms? How come in amongst all of this, we're still giving so much airtime to debates like which public toilets to use? And how come fully grown adults still can't read or fill in a form or articulate their needs to those positioned to help? How come women and children are dying in normal childbirth in such astronomical levels and astronomical ways? How come children are growing up fatherless? How come poverty and hunger are still a very real thing in 2018? And how come climates and weather patterns are so unpredictable and unstable and destructive? How come in this day and age, in 2018, people are still going to bed without a clean glass of water to drink? How come water supplies are so contaminated around the world? How come Black people are so disproportionately incarcerated in the world's prisons? And how come there are so few Black people in policy setting and culture shaping realms of this marketplace? How come people are so sick? How come cancer and all manner of diseases are ravaging our nations and our families and our communities? And how come the demands for social services is increasing so feverishly and yet the funding is decreasing so dramatically? How come we have such great minds, people like you and I, such brilliant people in offices and positions of influence and power to lead change, and yet for so many that change just never comes? And how come this is all still happening? Have we fallen asleep? Have we fallen asleep on our thrones in the corner office? Or have we stopped asking these powerful, challenging, provocative questions? I'm suggesting that it's time for us to wake up. It's time to begin to ask these questions again. I believe it's time. There's just too much room for improvement. Despite your undeniable accomplishments, you still have untapped potential to influence change that really matters. I'm talking about you. You still have untapped potential and for influencing change that really matters. Womanity is functional. Womanity. It matters that we're women. Womanity has a function in the caring for and the stewardship of organizations and industries and nations. And just because we are in the room, just because we're at the board table, doesn't mean that we're actually influencing it, does it? There's a real difference between being in the room, in the boardroom, at the table, and influencing that same room. There's a difference between the two. And it's time to reconnect to the truth of who we are as women at that table. It's time to evolve and mature as the women, the influencers, and the change makers that we were born to be. It is time to be the initiators, the innovators, and the influencers of change that really, really matters. And if you're in the wrong position, you're not in the right position to make the kind of change that you were born to make, then it's time to find the right place. Listen, you are just too brilliant. Your potential to influence is too high for you to stay here making only this level of change and contribution. We need to find where your difference is needed. We need to find out where you can make your mark and get you moving to that. Oh my goodness, I feel this so strongly. If you are in the right place, but for some reason, whatever reason, you feel like you don't have what it takes to, you don't have the clout, you don't have the influence to make important change happen, then guess what? It's time for you to up your influence and play a higher game of leadership. And it is possible for you to accomplish this new ascension, this new level, this new dimension of influence without having to sacrifice your health, your energy, your ethics, without having to sabotage your earnings or your enthusiasm or your self-esteem. It's possible. You can up your influence elegantly, and I can show you how. If you are one of those that are satisfied and smug and complacent and comfortable with your status quo and the status quo of your organizational results, then respectfully and from a place of humility and honor, I ask you that you look again. Take an unconventional, behind the mask look at the real experiences of the people that you lead and the people that together you are there positioned to serve. This is what my work is all about. It's my strongest conviction that you are a world-changing woman. It's my strongest conviction that you watching this video are a world-changing woman, and that you are strategically positioned to love on our world and the people that you lead and the people that you serve through your senior leadership position in the third sector or the public sector. So I'm inviting you, if any of what I'm saying resonates or pisses you off or challenges you in any way, then I'm inviting you to draw closer, watch my broadcasts, read my articles, join my conversations, and invest in the products and services and the events that I create to support our ascension to a whole new dimension of influence in the third sector and the public sector. Because it's time. It really is time for new results. It really is time for higher impact. We need a new breed of influencer, and it is my strongest conviction that that new, conscious, powerful influence is it's you, it's me, it's us, it's women in senior positions around the globe. So wherever you are watching this video, you're going to find a link that you can click on to join my mailing list. I promise I won't bombard you or share your information with any third party. Privacy is a big deal for me, but I will email you once or twice a week to share with you my ideas, insights, information, conversations, stories, strategies, and a good dose of straight talk about what it means to make this shift to this new and higher dimension of influence that we are being called collectively and individually to embrace. So I want to thank you for listening to this. I want to welcome you to go ahead and click the link that accompanies this video. And until we talk again, remember, be more influential. My name is Dion Johnson, founder at Woman Leader Global, and I'm excited about going forward with you.